everyone. I'm Dr. Liu here. Thank you for taking time over the last bit of Chinese New Year for those that celebrating to come to this online talk. I think it will be useful because what it really means is that it complements your visit next week, because then you can have more time to explore the other talks, or actually come to our booth to talk to us later for next week. Okay, but anyway, if you are unable to attend next week, this particular talk would have similar content for what you will hear today, as well as what you will hear physically if you actually attend next week's open house. And we also have some of our staff here. We have Miss Lisa Min and Miss Isabel Lim to answer some of the questions. If you have, you can just type in the chat if you want, or just unmute yourself to ask questions. We also have Dr. Alvin Lu, my colleague here, to also try to answer some of the questions if I'm unable to. Okay, so without delay, let me start. Okay. Right. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking time. Today, I will be talking a little bit about our major in terms of food science and technology. So we are all from the Department of Food Science and Technology. You see here that this open house is 1st and 7th March. So 1st March is today. It's an online version. 7th March will be the in-person. I do encourage you to come to our booth to talk to us personally. There you will see some of my other colleagues, and then you will also see students, it's also nice to really interact with the students to really understand or try to learn a bit more about what we do and so on. In today's talk, I will say a bit more about the major of food science and technology. We also offer within our department the second major in food science, second major in nutrition, and the minor in nutrition. I'm Dr. Liu. I'm one of the senior lecturers at the department here. And at the same time, I also have another appointment at the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Technology. Maybe some of you might have some understanding of what food science and technology is, because everyone knows the importance of food. But at the same time, I really want to also emphasize that it's also an important science and technology subject on its own, more because of the complexity of the problems that surrounds food. And therefore, you see that it is a science subject at the basis, because we need to understand how foods are processed, what are their properties, what are their compositions and their health impact. But at the same time, with the need to know all of these things, we also would require the students to understand a bit more across disciplines. And that's why you see that when we describe this particular major, what we're actually also describing is that these students will also learn a bit more beyond just one particular subject, but instead a whole array of subjects that surrounds food. And some of these subjects are not even just science and technology related also, because we also have aspects where it involves behavioral understanding, human behavior. So like, for example, consumer science. We would also have parts of our curriculum that covers food law. So that's why it's actually quite cross-disciplinary, and we try to equip you guys with an understanding of what really goes behind actually the food that we produce. Of course, overall, our goal is to eventually get to develop you all into someone that are food scientists, food technologists that are able to produce food that's safe, nutritious, and sustainable. To give an idea, the starting point is what you learn, right? But of course, to give you a clear idea of where you will be, it is easier to show you where our graduates work. So what do they become in the future in the workforce? As you can imagine, the students within our major will basically be working across the whole food industry, the food supply chain, starting from supply the actual raw produce itself, post-harvest processing, urban farming, and so on. That is relevant to our context. Up all the way up to manufacturing, for example, in the context of food engineering, food processing, and eventually in all the big food companies or the small medium enterprises, finding new ways to come up with different products, different types of food that can be used for different purposes, maybe in terms of health, or maybe in the context of a sustainable alternative source. This is what we do. We train our students in all these different aspects, and also in the context of healthcare, because ultimately, like what we say, we want this food to be safe and also sustainable and also nutritious. So we also have we will also train our students in the context of nutrition. And that's why this whole supply chain, this whole sector actually would have many different types of food scientists that is involved. And that's why if you look at your screen now on your right, there's this whole list of food professional jobs that we have lots of different alumni that worked on that are currently in or have been in this particular field list of things. It actually covers lots of things. It not only is just about new product development. There are also people that do applications. There are people that come up with different flavors or use different flavors, sensory and so on. So the list is actually quite a lot, and there is a whole array of different types of job for different types of interests of our students that are interested in food. And of course, we also support a lot a lot of our graduates go into the government sectors, especially those that's related to health and food. For example, your Singapore Food Agency, HPB, National Environmental Agency, and also HSA. And of course, we also have students that eventually graduate and they went on to support the food tech and agri-tech startup ecosystem. There's a lot of efforts in trying to find ways to help improve urban farming, find ways to have a better way of producing or using sustainable protein alternatives. Those are also things where our graduates actually go in when they go into industry, they join these different sectors. Overall, our program, our major is actually the oldest food science and technology degree in Singapore. Right now, we are about almost 30 years old as a first major. And we also have other different types of second major that we have provided our students for. I think some of this is maybe more than about 5 years. Overall, at any time, we have about 280 undergraduates within our year 1 to year 4 together. And also in terms of postgrads, where we offer our masters by coursework or masters by research, PhD research programs. In those sectors, we have about 200 postgraduates at any time. Because of our long history, okay, we have quite a bit of alumni in the food sector as well as related sectors. So overall, you can count it up to 1,600 or actually even 2,000 over alumni across the different sectors in Singapore as well as around different parts of the world. In our faculty, we are supported by 14 full-time academic staff. All of us, I'm one of them. My training is in molecular biology, but where I teach in terms of the context in food science is in the context of nutrition. Of course, human nutrition is part of food science, but at the same time, we also have colleagues that teach food chemistry, colleagues that teach food microbiology and safety, fermentation, process engineering, and so on. And also more recently, we have new colleagues that come in with the capabilities of teaching sensory, consumer science, as well as also the applications of AI in food. All of this, all of us, okay, as part of faculty, besides actually teaching our students, we are also very much involved in research. So these are some of the thematic parts, thematic themes of research that we do within the department. What it really means to the students that are right now listening in is that these are also opportunities where you could have a particular research topic that you're interested in, that you want to try out some research experience on. You can also look at which one of these different themes are things that actually excites you. So those will be opportunities for you to maybe do a research project, whether you are a junior undergraduate or maybe at a more senior year 3, year 4. Something that we are quite proud of is that we are also one of the 3 centers around the world to be supported by the Jeff Bezos Earth Fund. So what this Earth Fund is that they want to support sustainable protein production and adaptation across different societies. And the funding is to fund the research, but they only chose actually 3 places around the world for that. One of it is in North Carolina, the other one is in Imperial College, and the third one is in Asia, the only one in Asia, and it's in Singapore. And for us, the department, the food science department, we are the anchor for this PESO center in Singapore and in Asia. And so besides actually highlighting to you the types of teachers that you will be interacting with in the classroom and in the lab, I would want to also mention that we also have industry staff, industry teachers that come into the classroom to also interact and teach all of you. Because in a way, if you look at food science, it is a very easily relatable. Of course, that's one part of it. It makes it more interesting and relatable to what you learn in terms of science, right? But at the same time, we also want to emphasize that there's a lot of industry. It will be really good if all of you can get an industry perspective as early as you can. And that's why we actually bring in some of these industry veterans. I call them veterans because they are usually at the higher management, or they have already they're already done with all the higher management things, and then actually have lots of industry experience. They come in, they teach certain topics within our course. At the same time, while they teach, there would be ways in which they actually would also give you the perspective from the industry. And I think that adds to the part of us preparing you for being more industry relevant. While at the same time, it also is helpful to interact with them, because some of them may be your bosses next time, because some of them are also part of different organizations within Singapore, different companies within Singapore, and knowing them helps with the network, helps with maybe getting a future internship in their company and so forth. So we think that this is a very good opportunity for those industry people to pass on their knowledge. At the same time, to also showcase all of you and also improve your understanding about what you learn and linking it to what is required in the real world. So together, all of us actually deliver a few main topics, but within these topics, there's actually many different courses. And if you want, you can actually just do the QR scan at the bottom bottom right of this screen, and it will bring you to actually the syllabus, the types of courses that you need to take. It's about 15 courses for your first major, and those are the main ones that you are required to read for our first major. I've actually brought you to look at our first major first, because that is actually something that will be uniform across, no matter how you chart your other parts of your learning journey. Okay, the way I say this is because if you look at if you listen to the other courses or the other speakers in CHS, the College of Humanities and Sciences, which we are in now, the emphasis is that it is flexible, and it is indeed flexible because it allows you to anchor yourself on a particular major, but yet at the same time give you some space to really chart what you really want in this 4 years in with us at NUS. What I mean by that is that if you look at how our courses are structured, in order to get the degree, okay, in order to get a degree in CHS, you have to work on a core common core set of courses. So those cannot change. Like for example, this. Let me get my pen. Okay, so this core common course is something that it's common. You cannot you are supposed to read all of those common core in order to satisfy your graduation requirement. There's also the first major, which is FST, and in our context that needs to be read. But finishing all those things still will give you some space to actually make you ask yourself what you want to become. And we try to simplify it in a way, but we think that all of you have your individual interests, and you should really give some thought into this. But the way we simplify it is that depending on how you use this particular space, this space can be used for unrestricted majors. Okay, you can use this space for a second major, or you can use it for FST specialization. I will say a little bit more about all these things so that you know what it eventually leads you to. Okay, in the next few slides. So here, let me first start with what we call the versatilis. When we say versatilis, right, we are saying that the space where we allow students to actually read any courses. Okay, they will plan within a timetable the things that they need to read, the 15 courses that they need to read to satisfy the FST first major, right? And then they will also plan to read all the common core that they need to read. Okay, then there is this space which is about 12 to 13 courses. Okay, and they'll have to decide what they want to do with this. But and therefore it is called unrestricted. Okay, and if in this unrestricted context, you are actually more than welcome to really read anything that you find interesting. Of course, there are other ways in which you can use this space, because there are also students that would use this space to read maybe one minor, something that they're interested in, or even two minor. That is why here at the bottom, you see that there are certain ways in which you could use suggestions, you could use this, instead of using this to read just a whole different set of different courses, right? Different courses within food science, different courses outside of food science, outside of science, and arts and social science. That's the space you can use. Okay, you can do it in a very intentional manner. You only read 5 courses, and you can get a minor. And those minors, there's really a lot of different types of minors here. Here, I give you a very small selection of the types of minors that is on offer. We have quite a bit of students that have done a minor in entrepreneurship, quite a bit in terms of public health, life science, nutrition studies, and even Japanese studies. We have students doing that. So what they do is that they have a major and then they have a minor. They use some of this space to read a minor. The space actually is enough for you to read actually 2 minors if you want, because 5 plus 5 is just 10. You still have space to use in this unrestricted section here. Okay, and that makes a person broadly a versatilist. And then there's also students that want to be even more intentional. What it means is that instead of doing minors or reading a few series of courses that they're interested in, they use this space to read a second major. And what it takes to get a second major is that you need to read 10 courses within that particular other major other than food science. Okay, and therefore we also encourage that in a way, because now you get enough what you get now is that you get more training in another major, and hopefully at some point you can actually integrate both that major with your food science knowledge and find synergy within that makes you different, that makes you unique when you actually go into the workforce. Okay, examples of these types of majors are basically majors that we offer. This second major are basically majors that we offer within science and within arts and social science. And that's why this College of Humanities and Sciences worked in this way. There is some nuances here that I want to highlight also. Depending on where you do this second major, if it's contrasting, okay, it means that this second major that you've read is something that is from the Faculty of Arts and Social Science. Okay, and what comes out from this is that basically you will when you graduate, you will actually get a double degree. And this is depending on whether your second major comes from the Asian Studies and Humanities or Social Sciences, you get a slightly different way of naming that double degree. Of course, we also have students that have interest in another science, in another science course, science major. And for us, we have our students that have graduated with a second major in data science. And also we have students that have graduated with a second major in nutrition. So in those cases, what happens then during graduation basically is that in this case here, they will get a double major in sciences. So the qualification becomes a double major. So this is another way to think about what you want, how you want to become within these 4 years with us. And then of course, there are also students that say, I really want to learn a bit more about food science. Other than that 15 courses, is there more for me to learn? Of course, yes. And that's what we call the leap specialist type of students. In this case here, those students will actually do a bit more courses within this space, okay, that is food science related. It's more advanced food science courses. And that's what we describe as the specialization group of students. So there will be students with a first major in food science, FST major with specialization, for example, in FST research and innovation. Those are groups of students that eventually may become entrepreneurs. They do their own startups. They may actually join the research and development sector within our food sector. Because if you look at our food sector is not just manufacturing. There's actually a lot of R&D that's happening within Singapore. We have a few R&D centers of different big food companies or the ingredients company within Singapore. And those actually will value some of these things that our students have, the deep specialization of certain topics within food science. So that's where the students go to. Some of them also specialize in a way that eventually they realize that they even want to do a PhD on food science after doing all this specialization. Okay, so after saying how the departments, the major fits into the whole CHS curriculum, now I want to tell you how your education journey fits in the whole NUS experience, because here, this is what I've just mentioned, really is about competency building. But NUS has more than that to offer, because we do have many other things that is embedded in this whole curriculum. There's not just going into the lab or going into classroom to learn. There are things where we would equip you with experiential learning, going overseas exchange, equip you with things like going into the workforce to do an internship, to do research, to have career preparation for other skill sets that will make you confident already when you go into the work industry. Okay, here are actually some examples of some of the overseas experience that students have. What you see here basically is previous students. So these are not AI generated photos; they are real people. But now they are quite old already. Real people with experience in going to different. Each of them actually went to different places around the world. What I've listed here, what I've highlighted here, are some of the universities with very good food science degree programs that we have exchanges with. And we do have students going there, and then there are students coming here. Of course, this is one part of it. We also have other ways in which we equip students with overseas experience, like for example, summer programs. There's also overseas internships that may happen if if there is there's a mutual agreement with the learning outcomes and so on. So it's quite a lot of different opportunities to explore for all of you. And of course, we also have internships within the food industry. When you look at the food industry, you might think that it's only maybe only Nestle, maybe only Abbott infant formula, maybe your breakfast. Okay, that's all. Okay, conflicts and so on. But the food industry is actually much deeper than that. The ingredient companies, the flavor companies, the ones that ensure safety, the ones that ensure that the regional needs, demands of consumers are taken care of. All of this actually is parts of food industry. Some companies that you might associate with, for example, pharmaceutical or consumer goods, they also have an arm that is related to food science, food industry. So that's why, in a way, there's actually different ways in which our food science students have already been engaging in internships within the industry. And here you see that, you see that there's a code here. So these numbers basically is a representation of a course code. And what it means basically is that the students we have been regularly actually engaging students with the industry on all of these internships for a long time. So we really do have a track record of actually getting students into the industry. So overall, our network of alumni actually right now works in all different parts of the sector. So it's not just food industry, not just nutrition, but some of them have already progressed to even business development, business management, and so on. And some of them, in terms of the what they do within the government, they have also progressed quite well. So those are here are some examples. And here again, these are real people that have used their degree in many different ways. I mean, my last few slides are going to lose my voice. Hopefully, I still have voice next week. Okay. Last few slides, but just one final slide before I talk about some of the requirements. Okay, of this first major is that this industry link, I think is best highlighted in the way the industry sponsored a lot of the book prizes that is specifically only for food science students. We have this sponsored prizes. We also have sponsored scholarships that comes from the food industry, and I think this is a good way to show you that this relationship is actually very healthy. The way we train students and the industry actually trusts the way we train our students. And if you are interested in some of these book prizes and scholarship, you can also do a scan on the corner here to go to the particular web page that talks about this. Okay, this one is probably probably the slide that you guys have been waiting for. Here is the CHS admissions requirement. What we require basically is A level equivalent of any H2 pass. Okay, this is any H2 pass. Okay, meaning that it could be possible that you apply with math and physics. That's fine. Okay, it's just any H2 pass. But for you, if you apply and you get admitted into food science, what happens then is that in your first semester, you will then have to take a bridging module. In the case where the person does not have chemistry or bio, you have to take both. If, for example, you have any H2 pass that involves bio and math, okay, and the other subjects, and you don't have chemistry, and what it means basically is that in your first semester you only take chemistry as the bridging module. Okay, so all this means that you don't really have to have H2 chemistry and bio or chemistry or bio to enter food science, but you need to read the bridging module in your first semester. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, the other thing is that as the food science first major, it is a direct admissions type of requirement. What it means then is that when you apply to NUS, you have to specifically search for food science as the one that you apply for. Okay, do not put CHS as the first choice. Put FST as the first choice because this is directly admitted into the food science program, food science department. Of course, you can put CHS because some students may be undecided about whether they want to do food science and so on. It's fine. You can also put CHS as your first choice, and then get admitted into CHS. You might along the way try to read one of the courses that is our gateway course. It's the first course of the whole food science, and see whether you really like food science or not. So that's the alternative way to decide whether you would want to read food science. But those of you who are really already very sure that this food science is your thing, okay, you must put FST as your first choice. And of course, I will encourage you, your second choice, put CHS as your second choice because we want everyone to come to CHS. There are also other ways in which you can read food science or nutrition, because it can be read as a second major, or read as if you're interested in nutrition, either as a second major or minor. This too basically is open to all CHS students, meaning that once you're in CHS, you can read, you are allowed to read food science, or you're allowed to read nutrition as a second major or minor. But in this case, you will still have to apply to come in, and so on. But it's a slightly different process, and it's really just to make sure that we know the numbers, who is interested, and so on. Okay, so those are different things to consider. Then the last thing is that the cohort intake for first major food science is about 60. But then we also have additional space for second major, which is about 20. And for the context of nutrition, it's a bit larger, about up to 100. So those are things for you to take note of. Let me try to erase. Okay, so that it's a clearer picture for you to to screenshot. Okay, then so I'm actually done with my slides, and all that I need to say or explain to you. So here is more about advertising, what we are up to recently. So although I've given you some very abstract idea of the research that we do, some of the things that has translated into something more includes examples like this. So here you on your left, you see Prof. Huang Zhejian. So he is one of my colleagues that have used different ways, different types of plant proteins to make different alternative types of food products. This helps with sustainability. And here you on your right, you will see Prof. Liu Shaoquan with Manfred, his student, that is trying to find new ways to make chocolates, because the raw ingredients to make chocolates are actually not very sustainable. And the way they are trying to do this is to actually have other alternatives to make this chocolate alternative that is as close to chocolates as possible. So those are actually the more recent types of news. And if you actually trace back, there's actually quite a bit of different news from my different colleagues that actually has certain translated products that comes out from their research that you can learn about, or you can talk to them when you come to food science, or maybe see them at the open house next week. Okay, so here are some of the things that you may want to take note of. If you have questions, you can email us, you can call us. There's a frequently FAQ, frequently asked question on the QR here that is on the website. So you can scan that, and then there's also many ways, many questions that has been answered. You can also have a look at those things. If your student, okay, we don't have a TikTok channel, right, Isabel? No, right? Okay, we are still at Instagram. So if you you want to know what students are up to, you can look at Instagram. Okay. If you want to know professionally what we're up to, you can look at LinkedIn. Sometimes we do sometimes still post on Facebook. That's also another way to reach out to. Actually, it's more towards the alumni. So those are things that you could go follow to really understand what we do on a daily basis, depending on which audience you are. You might be the young person that wants to know what the students do. You might be the parent that wants to know how professionally this food science courses and so on. We have all of this for you. So please go and check us out on these different platforms as well. Okay, I'm done with my talk. Thank you for your attention. Do also come down next week if you can to talk to the people at the booth. The slides, the presentation will be more or less the same for my in-person one. There's really so much I can sell my course, right? So it's the same, but if you have questions directly that you need to talk to me for, or ask me, I'll be also there to answer them. Yeah.
Hi, can we ask you questions right
Hi.
now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, hi. I've logged in from India, so unfortunately we can't be there in person.
Yeah.
But I'm asking this on behalf of my daughter who's in grade 11, going to grade 12, and very interested in studying food sciences. So she's very clear that she wants to go the food science route.
Mm-hmm.
She does the IB program.
Mm.
So do you have a minimum grade requirement? A, that is one. Second is, do you also look for industry experience for for children to apply?
I can answer the second one while I will throw the first question to Sumin. Okay, the second one in terms of industry experience, we don't look at it in during the admissions process. So that's a short and quick answer. But having the mindset about internships is always a good thing, no matter which major or where the student is really always having the experience, relating it to what's applicable in the workplace. Yeah. So, you want to chip in?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Hi, thank you for your question.
Hi.
So actually I think you are applying under, if I'm not wrong, it's under IB program, right? If not, it's
IB, that's
under, yeah, IB. Okay, so on the OAM website, they have cater to different groups of applicants. So you can go on to the IB category and check out the subject prerequisites. What is the admission requirements? They will actually state it down very clearly, like for each category of applicant, what is the admission requirements to food science and tech. You can look it under subject prereq. If you need, we can send you the link as well.
So, can you
Yes, please.
send her the link? Yeah.
Yeah.
We understand that there's many websites, many links to go to. It's really hard to navigate some of these things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Shivali.
what about research? Yes, what about research? Do you all give importance to students who've done some sort of research in their field of interest? Does that help with the admission process?
I think for IB, the admissions is also really just by the grade points and cut off. There is a very small group of students that if they decide to apply through the what is that?
The discretionary admission.
Yeah, discretionary admissions. That one, they may be asked to come for interview. But the cutoff basis will still be basically on a very competitive grade point stage. But when they come for interview, I think some of these experiences, whether it's research, whether it is with internships, it will be useful. It will be useful, but at the same time, many of them would also have this. It's like nowadays students, it's very competitive, but it's really about
Yes.
them articulating the impact on how this being able to articulate how the research is important, being able to articulate how they make an impact on internship. Some of these things I think that we look for if eventually it's through the interview route. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to come back to what do you mean by discretionary admission? What does that mean?
Yeah. So basically for discretionary admission, it's basically catered to people who are actually very passionate about this subject or this program, and then they probably fail to meet the cutoff point by a narrow margin, but they have talents in other areas, like probably they are good in certain sports or things like that, that they want the universities to consider them for, so they can put it down in the text area whereby they can take to be considered under discretionary admission, and then they fill in the additional supporting details. Yep.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have some questions. So there's a question on by Marilyn that about this tie and so on. Actually, to be honest, we don't know what goes on because it's at the admissions level. So at the department level, what we get is a list of students for that year. And that's why we don't know what do they do actually upstairs when they do this tithing and so on. And actually, it's also hard to answer every year because every year it may change. The group of
Yeah.
students, the cohort, the number, the quality of the how competitive it is, and so on changes. Yeah. So I would suggest maybe asking the admissions people this question to maybe get an understanding of how they actually do this. Yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, the cutoff point differ from year to year. So
Mm,
that one you can actually just base it on for your information. Yeah.
mm. Uh, thank you, Marilyn. Leslie has a question. So you're asking whether can you apply to this program from Cameroon. I think it's really just we are open for all students to apply from around the world. It is that you have to have either the A level Cambridge type of qualification or IB qualifications and so on. So you're welcome to try to apply for this for us. Yeah. For Amy, the question, the first one, contributing to food security, I think the last term is quite a big broad term. So I'm now just guessing, what you mean is that how do we actually help food security in the whole? Alvin, raise your hand. Alvin, you want to say something? Maybe you answer, then I can drink water.
No, I mean something else. I
Mm.
just see questions in other part of the room. There's also a Q&A
Yeah,
and people part there.
yeah. Do you
No,
want
but
to answer them from?
I answered, but okay, but let's finish Marilyn first, right?
Mm. Marin is
Marilyn.
done already, so I'm
Oh,
trying to answer Amy's question.
Amy is how involved is the study of food science and technology to food security. Food security, there is actually well, it definitely contributes to it because uh, one aspect of security is ensuring that the food doesn't go to waste. And food processing is definitely very important to make sure that, firstly, nothing is wasted, whatever we produce can still be consumed, and also the side stream. So utilizing side stream materials is becoming an important topic in the field of food science. So in fact, just now we saw one of our Professor Huang, who has his own startup. He's been using spent grain, meaning the materials that is after brewing of beer or making of Milo, the spent grain. He's using it to make noodles. So in that sense, food science definitely does contribute to food security. So in terms of dietetics, uh, to well, if I'm honest, SIT actually has a degree in dietetics. If you are already decided that you want to go into dietetics, then applying into SIT is the more direct route. If for now maybe you feel that you are interested in food science, but after graduating you decide you want to go into dietetics, then definitely food science is, and the CHS is generally one of the recognized qualifications to enter a master's in dietetics. And upon completion of the masters, you can then practice as a dietitian in Singapore. But what I wanted is, I saw in the Q&A section, there's one interesting question that maybe Simin can help us, which is,
Mm-hmm.
if a person has all A, triple A,
Mm.
and can they 100% get in? Is it a 100% guarantee?
That's a very good question. I think that person will definitely stand a very high chance to get in. Yeah, because as you can see, the cutoff point at the 90th percentile is A, right? And then the 10th percentile is not straight A's at all. Yeah. Yeah, but of course, we at the department level, we do not handle the admission directly. All the admissions into food science and technology are handled by the Office of Admission Office. So they will have a very clear idea of, the students' performance when they actually get selected into the department program. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
There's also Mr. Wu Yong that mentioned about the son being interested in both
Mm.
food science and pharmaceutical science. I don't know whether pharmaceutical science is a direct admissions or not.
Mm.
I have no idea, but I think it's
Mm.
important to see what the son, which one of them, which one of it he's more interested in, because there's double major, but the double major involves one being the first major and then the second major the other one. So if the son your son is undecided yet, there is also the more flexible consideration of going into CHS first and then maybe read pharmaceutical science and then decide whether they want to do a second major in food science, or the other way around. Because right now I'm not sure whether pharmaceutical science also requires direct admissions, which means
It
that
does.
your first, yes, huh? Okay,
Yes, I
yeah,
Google it.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So it means then the son has to decide which one is the first, which one is the second, and then apply first choice as the first. Put the first choice as the first major that he wants to go in. Yeah.
So I also searched up then, and pharmaceutical science also offers a second major lah. So another option is to take one as a first major and then the other as a second major. Yeah, since FST also offers food science as a second major. Yeah, maybe I think halfway through you might want to maybe change FST to the second major and change pharm science to the first major. It's also possible, but might be a bit harder lah, depending on what the courses you take already.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of flexibility that allows for some students that may want to change track if they feel suddenly that there's a certain major that they are more keen on. Yeah. But my suggestion is to finish one and then do the second or decide or something. Otherwise,
If you're really
along the way, it's very messy.
So if you're really undecided, definitely the best option is to take CHS first. Then under CHS, you take the intro module for both food science and farm science. Then you see which one you like better after that lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's someone that is interested in masters. You're welcome to write to us. I think the masters information is a whole set of different information. So we can get someone to answer your questions. Yeah. Did we answer everything? Is there one more? Oh, this one is answered already, right? No more questions? I think we're done. We're more or less done with the questions. Yeah. It's also more or less time, right, for this session.
Yeah. I think we need to end like around this time also, 2:50. Yeah. If
Okay.
there is no more question or one more question.